Now I'm going to explain you what is called goods in economics. The aim of all economic activities are the satisfaction of human wants, and any material or non-material things which satisfies the human wants and has exchange value is called goods. I would like to repeat that any material or non-material things which satisfies the human wants and has exchange value is called goods. Goods are used in a very wider sense in economics. Here it includes the material things also and non-material things also. Material things like food, fruits, vegetables, clothes, houses, these are all comes into the category of material things, and we satisfy our wants with the help of this and we pay the price for this. So it has exchange value. But at the same time, in economics, the immaterial things are also called goods. As for example, the services of a lawyer, services of doctor, services of a domestic servant, services of teacher, these are all comes into the category of goods, because when you pay the fee, it means it has exchange value, and when you get the services of these people, it satisfies your wants. So it comes into the category of goods, though it is a non-material things. But let me tell you, my dear students, there are certain services, though it has exchange value, though it satisfies the human wants, but you cannot pay the price of it. Like suppose if you are getting the services of a doctor. When you are getting the services of a doctor, the doctor who has saved your life. Now, if the doctor asks you that you find out what is the price of your life and that much fee you pay to me. Now, is it possible for you to do the calculation? And even if you can do the calculation, is it possible for you to pay the price of a doctor? It is quite impossible. At the same time, when you take the services of a teacher, the person who has given you the ability to write, the person who has given you the ability to speak, the person who has given you the ability to read. So, if that person who has given you the power to think, if that person asks you, give me the price of these things which I have given you will not be able to calculate in your lifetime, and even if you can calculate in your lifetime, even you earn millions and millions of dollars in your life, you will not be able to repay the actual price of that, because it is priceless. There are certain things in the life which is priceless, so never fix a price tag into it. I would like to give an example how certain services are priceless and you cannot pay the price tag. Once it happened that one son, after getting a very good education, he went to the foreign country and earned millions of dollars and came back to India after 10 years and met with his mother. After meeting with the mother was very much worried, and she was telling, don't go, remain with me in my old age. But the son told, no, I have to go to earn money, and whatever price you want, whatever money you want, you tell me, I will give it to you, any amount of money, and you lead your life with full luxury. Then the mother replied her son that तू मेरे दूध की कीमत क्या दे सकता है यदि मैं तुमसे मांगूं? There is no price tag for the milk of a mother. There is no price tag for the love of a mother. There is no price tag for the caring of a father. So there are certain things in the life which is totally priced less, and the thing which is priceless does not have an exchange value, and the thing which does not have any exchange value does not come into the category of economics. So the caring of mother and the father does not come into the category of economics, but yes, the services rendered by a doctor, services rendered by a teacher, by a servant, by lawyer, these are all comes into the category of economics as goods. But at the same time, always remember that even after paying the fees, it may come into the category of economics, it may come into the category of goods, but fees alone is not sufficient until unless you combine your gratitude with fees. The fees of the teacher is incomplete, the fee of a doctor is incomplete. So fee combined with gratitude, exchange value combined with gratitude, if you can do that, then to some extent you can compensate. Otherwise, since it is a priceless service, you will not be able to compensate by just fixing a price tag, by just paying the fees of it. So always remember, if you want to be happy in your life, if you want to be successful in your life, then always remember that you need to pay gratitude for the services from whoever you are getting, whether they are the teachers or they are the doctors or lawyers, and even if you are getting the services from a servant, then also you need to pay your gratitude, the feeling of thankfulness. That is what is very, very important, children. Thank you. I wish you all the best. Now I'm going to explain you about utility. What is utility? Anything that satisfies the human wants directly or indirectly is called utility. So satisfaction is very, very important factor here. So any kind of goods which satisfies the human wants and you get satisfaction out of it, then that comes into the category of utility. Now that utility, maybe you can derive the satisfaction from material things, or you can derive satisfaction from immaterial things also. The material things, like the satisfaction may come by having rice or wheat or cake or biscuit, anything else. These are the material things which can give you the satisfaction. At the same time, you can get satisfaction through immaterial things also, as for example the services of a doctor, services of a lawyer, services of a domestic servant, anybody else. All these kind of people, they are also giving you services. So it is immaterial, but you derive satisfaction out of it, so that is also comes into the category of utility. So that this satisfaction is an important criteria in order to bring any activity into the category of utility. Utility is the want satisfying capacity of a commodity. Always remember that. Now students, I am going to explain you the characteristics of utility. Just have a look. Utility is not inherited with commodity. It is associated with it but not inherited, and it does not give the same level of satisfaction to each individual. As for example, a person who takes pan, tea or coffee, a person who is addicted to it will get the utility out of it and will get satisfaction. But the same thing, same material will not have any utility to a person who is not addicted to it. So same material like pan, tea or coffee will have no utility value for the person who does not like to have pan, tea or coffee. So utility will be zero for the person who is not addicted to it, and it will have a tremendous utility to a person who is addicted to these things. Fine. Now next is, it is not associated with goodness. Now you will find that there are certain materials which are not even good, but it has utility for certain type of people. Like suppose somebody smokes cigarette, so this cigarette has utility value for that person. At the same time, a person who does not smoke cigarette will not have any utility value for that person. But still, since certain people are addicted to it, certain people are ready to pay price for this, So it comes into the category of utility. Even some people takes pan or any other such kind of things which is not good. The material which are not good for health, the material which is not acceptable by the society, still some people are taking it and they are paying the price for it. So it has the utility value, but though it is not good. Next, utility is not always related with pleasure. It may be useful to a person because it satisfies his demand. When a person is admitted in an ICU in the hospital due to certain illness, this kind of services of a doctor or the services of a hospital is required by that person. So as such, this utility has nothing to do with the pleasure, but it is a compulsion. Here the person is not admitted in the hospital out of pleasure, but out of a problem, due to a problem. So it comes into the category of utility, but always the utility is not for pleasure. Next, utility is a relative concept. Utility is also a relative concept. How? Because it differs from person to person, it differs from place to place and situation. For example, 100 rupees, it has a great value for a poor person, but at the same time, the person who is very rich, for him, rupees 100 is not very important. Though the amount is same, but again, the utility value differ from person to person. Next, it is variable. Utility is highly relative and variable. It varies from person to person and from time to time, even for the same person. Utility of a commodity gives different level of satisfaction to different people. As for example, you will find that according to the mental attitude and intensity of desire of a person, the utility differs. Like suppose as for example, the woolen clothes. Woolen clothes has more utility. Woolen clothes has more utility in the cold place than hot places. In summer season, we don't even use the woolen clothes. At the same time, woolen clothes has great demand, has great utility during the winter season. So woolen clothes has more utility during the winter season and it has more utility in the cold places than in the hot places. It is subjective. Now the utility of a commodity is always subjective because it depends on the consumer satisfaction. This may differ from consumer to consumer. As for example, like cold drinks. If you love to drink cold drinks, then it will give you lots and lots of satisfaction. But at the same time, a person who do not like cold drinks or who thinks that cold drinks is very harmful for the health, then for that person, cold drinks do not have any utility. Immeasurable. Utility of a commodity cannot be measured by any measuring instrument. You cannot even add or you cannot subtract. So, utility of a commodity is not measurable, it is immeasurable. Next, usefulness. It means that goods possesses utility even when they may not be useful to other people. Even if it is harmful for some people, it has the utility because it is useful for some other people and some other people are habituated. As for example, the smoking is very harmful, but for the people those who are addicted to smoking, for them it is useful. So it has the utility value as far as economics is concerned. Next, pleasure. Always it is not necessary that the commodity which has the utility, it also gives the pleasure to the person who is consuming it. As for example, suppose you fall sick and you need injection. This injection has the utility for you, but getting injection is very painful to you. So though it is painful, but it has a utility value. So utility always does not give pleasure. Next, morality. Utility has nothing to do with morality. It is not necessary that a commodity having utility provides moral or ethical importance. It is only related with the satisfaction of human wants. So as far as the economics is concerned, whether the material has the moral or ethical value or not, it is not important. As long as it satisfies the human wants, it comes into the category of utility. Next, abstract. Utility cannot be seen, it cannot be touched or felt, because it is a psychological satisfaction of a person, and therefore it is very much abstract. For example, that services of a doctor and services given by your domestic servant, services given by a lawyer, these are all, it has a utility value. But again, these are the services which you cannot even see, you cannot even touch, you cannot even feel. So these are the things comes into the category of utility, though it is very much abstract. So students, these are the characters of utility. You need to listen it again and again, and after that practice writing in your own language by yourself. Thank you.
Audio